Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors guy, just reacting to the Toronto Raptors 113-104 victory against the Chicago Bulls. I want to start off by saying, no Siakam, no problem. Where are the people that were saying Fred VanVleet should be traded? It should be moved on. I was calling all of you guys out for being absurd, going on with wild takes, and Fred VanVleet comes back absolutely on fire in this game. And it was this was just an absolute joy to watch. The Toronto Raptors going up against a strong team in the Eastern Conference of the Chicago Bulls. I know that they have some injuries themselves, Alonzo Ball and all that sort of stuff, nonsense coming into the season. But the Bulls are a force to be reckoned with in the Eastern Conference. And the Raptors, after a tough loss to the Dallas Mavericks, come back, bounce back, and get a much-needed clutch W against the Chicago Bulls. Now, obviously, the storyline coming into this one was Pascal Siakam, clearly by far head over heels the best player for the Toronto Raptors to start off the season, arguably a top 5 player in the league right now, just the way he's scoring, facilitating, and all that sort of stuff. And Fred VanVleet probably had his worst game of the season the last time we saw him on the court, suit up for the Raptors, been sitting out the last few games with a back injury, but nothing was holding Fred VanVleet back tonight, as he was absolutely dominant in his return to action. In this game, had 30 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds, 9 of 22 from the field, but hit 5 threes, and just going out there and showing what the Raptors, can do. Like the Raptors need sort of a point guard to come out there and facilitate and make sure when the half court, we go to half court offense, we're not leaking out in transition, right? Our offense is stable. We have a release valve out there on the 3-point line. And Fred VanVleet, whether it be in the clutch, whether it be at timely moments during this game, just does those Kyle Lowry-esque things for this team that just keep us going. He's really our engine at this point, and it's so great to see Fred VanVleet back. Looking pretty mobile, looking ready to go. No steals in this one, but I thought his defense was fine. Just shaking, his old mentor in DeMar DeRozan. I'm rocking the thank you Compton shirt in this one. Obviously got the DeMar DeRozan jersey behind me the whole game. But, man, throw some L's in the chat right now. We got 100 people in here just to start this off. Throw some L's for the people that were saying that we should trade Fred VanVleet, because it's silliness out there. Fred VanVleet is, Raptors, one of our top guys, just provides something that we need night in, night out basis. Obviously, Gary Trent Jr. didn't really have it tonight, especially from behind the 3-point line, but Fred VanVleet's that other sort of scoring guard that we have that can, with all of our 3-and-D wings, can get us those buckets in a timely manner in the half-court offense. Huge props to Fred VanVleet coming back. He was our all-star last season, coming into the lineup, right? Throw those L's in for those folks that were roasting that there. Or roasting, saying that we should trade Fred VanVleet. And people are going, asking about Riker. I answer the Riker question every single podcast. We're worried about the Raptors here now. And one guy that we got to talk about. And the nicknames have been popping up left, right, and center. I think Christian Koloko, no, is what he's going by, at least for tonight, because this man is setting records. Let's get the balloons out here going for when our guys are setting records. Rookie Christian Koloko coming out with an absolute dominant performance back in the Raptors paint, especially in the first half. Koloko was a guy that, second round pick, looked a little bit raw on Summer League. Would he really be in the rotation? Will he be playing with the 905? And it's more likely this guy will be playing on the all-rookie team than in the 905 this season, because he is a necessary component for this Raptors squad. He anchors our defense, right? The defense, OG Anunoby, right? Gary Trent Jr., all these guys can be a little bit more aggressive. Otto Porter Jr., a little touch more aggressive, because they know if they get blown by, if they get beat, there is just a monster, a shot blocking monster back there, ready to yell no at whoever comes into that paint, because tonight, Christian Koloko ended up having a game. Not only did he score on the offensive end, catching a bunch of lobs and stuff, 11 points, 7 rebounds, had a couple assists, which is nice, but 6 blocks, which is a Raptors rookie record. You love seeing Christian Koloko out there setting records there as a rookie. And we have a super chat coming in from Tom M saying Special K. The Special K. Is that a Special K for Christian Koloko? Right? I love KO Koloko. Love all the Kobloko. I love all the names out there. I love seeing it. The Oliver's coming in saying the Kolokomotive. KO Loco. The nicknames are just too much for this man, and he deserves every single one because, like, this is exactly the type of player the Raptors need. And we've never really had one of these remarkably athletic, young centers that can just get up on shots, play in these Nick Nurse defensive systems, and let the guys run wild, closing out at people. OG Anunoby picking the pockets of DeMar DeRozan left, right, and side. I think OG's averaging like 4 steals a game at this point. Like, ridiculously dumb stealing numbers. And it's because we have more of a presence in the paint down there, right, which we love to see. And remember, GSXR Ghost is saying I named him Koloko. Those are all the names they're popping out. Scarlett's saying Koloko over Mobley, and that's just facts. Who's blocking shots? Mobley ain't blocking shots like Christian Koloko out there right now. So it's just some madness, some wild stuff happening for Christian Koloko. And his development, even from what we saw in Summer League, his highlights in college ball, he looks like a totally different player. He's a mature rotation guy for this Raptors team right now. And, having that 7-foot rim protecting presence down there, right? We had it with Marc Gasol, we had it with Serge Ibaka, but those guys played a different style. They were more just, veteran presence. I'm going to get to my spot, have my hands up, verticality and all that sort of stuff. Serge Ibaka blocked some shots, but he was older when he was with us. But Christian Koloko is just dominant out there. The block he had on Patrick Williams, he had a couple in one possession that I saw, like, just some wild stuff. And don't be spamming VRW, but I do like the, lots of W's in this game for sure. But the fact that this guy was a second-round pick, and we basically traded Goran Dragic for Koloko and Thad Young, what a W. And don't worry, we will be chatting about Mr. Goran Dragic in this podcast, but he's not getting any early minutes in this one, or not getting any early chat in this, because we have to give out an award. So I'm going to get a little drum roll going at the start of this one. And tonight, the Scottie Barnes Award is going to the guy that just had the most, triumphed over the most, because it looked like he was dealing with, a player out there was dealing with some injuries and stuff, and I wanted to give it to, a second-year guy that really just overcame, some injuries, a poor first 3 quarters in the last one, and it's going to Scottie Barnes tonight, who in this game just, did the things that we were expecting from Scottie Barnes. 19 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, with Pascal Siakam stepped up, got 19 shots in this game, knocked down a couple threes. The threes that he hit were pretty smooth, even though I feel like he's still settling at times a little bit too much. But Scottie Barnes, man, 8 of 19 from the field. When he's driving, when he's being aggressive, like he had Caruso on him for a couple possessions, and Scottie Barnes is just an absolute bucket finishing around the rim. So ifs, ands, or buts about it. When he's in the paint and he can get those spins, those little touch shots with that finesse he has around the basket, he doesn't miss. He doesn't miss those shots. He's running those lanes. He's doing everything out there. Scottie Barnes is absolutely elite for this Raptors squad, and I thought he did a better job at slashing a little bit more in this game, but I like the improved 3-point shot. I like that he's confident taking it, but 7 threes, probably stick to like 3-4 threes a game right now, Scottie, and focus on the drives, especially when you have smaller guys on you for this game. But he was pretty solid. He was pretty good in this one, but Paul Blunt's bringing it up in the chat there. OG for the dunk contest. OG's really a guy that's making other teams say OG's because he's taken a step up, man. He had a couple of tough games at the start of the season. A lot of people are down on his ISO play and stuff, but in tonight's game, dominant once again. 22 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, a block, 10 of 19 from the field. Just OG Anunoby, knocked down 2 of 5 threes. He's playing, just not forcing anything right now. OG Anunoby is, I got the wrong buttons pressed, but OG Anunoby's not forcing anything into the paint. He's not, even with Pascal Siakam out, it doesn't feel like there's any moment where OG Anunoby's saying, oh, I'm going to drive into 4 guys and turn over the basketball a bunch. No, he's catching it and he's confident in his drives, but he's getting it within the flow of the offense. And that's exactly what we want to see out of OG Anunoby. Just making those drives, making those finishes, right? Marcel saying OG for MVP. And honestly, DPOY is probably something that's realistic for OG Anunoby this season because the steal numbers are otherworldly at this point. And he had a couple down the stretch, against DeMar DeRozan, a former Raptor or a Raptors legend. I'm rocking his shirt. We got his jersey up behind us, but man, having guys that play both sides of the court out there for your team, on a consistent basis, it is huge. It is huge for this Raptors squad, and OG Anunoby is the epitome of what we want our Raptors players to be like. So the fact that he's coming in, spacing the floor, playing defense, we absolutely love to see it. Had some clutch moments in this game as well. I can't speak highly enough of all the guys that came out there and played tonight. It was really an all-around effort, especially from our starting unit. Gary struggled a little bit. His the 3-point shots had a couple of bad games. It was a minus 25 in this one, which is a tough look on the plus minus. Him and Precious minus 20s in a 9-point win. A little bit of a bad look, but that's how it goes. But I thought he still hit some shots. The plus minus isn't always the best indicator of how a guy played in the games, but wasn't too great. I'll discuss the bench a little bit there as well. Otto Porter Jr., I thought, 2 points. He's not really looking for a shot that much. I think Otto Porter Jr. can definitely benefit from being a little bit more aggressive, but I love the way he's just playing defense for this Toronto Raptors team. Otto Porter's coming out there, getting deflections, just getting right in people's airspaces, and really fits the mold of what we want a Raptors player to be like. But with his 3-point shooting, right? Like tonight only took 3 shots in this game, only took 1 3, right? Be a little bit more trigger happy there, Otto Porter Jr. coming off the bench, ready to let those shots fly. That's what we want to see out of Otto, being able to knock down those shots, be a safety valve coming off our bench, release valve to, the offense gets a little bit stagnant. Even at moments in this game, it looked a little bit shaky there for the Raptors. Otto Porter Jr. can just look for a shot a little bit more. That will be huge for this team going forward. But what? He's 3 games in, and he's just getting used to the system. He'll be fine. I think he'll be pretty solid for us on that front. Boucher, once again, was solid in this game. 8 points, 6 rebounds, just doing Boucher things. 4 of 10 from the field. Nothing too crazy, nothing too bad. But we have to discuss. PKs, coming in with the super chats exactly when I'm about to bring them up. But super chat saying, Young a plus 25 when we need him. And people are bringing up, Chatty, Thaddeus Young. We just traded Dragic for Mr. Thaddeus Young last season. I'm going back to calling him Dragic. I don't want to call him Dragic anymore. He's a Memphis himself. I'll discuss Dragic later in this podcast. But Dragic, we traded him for Thad and Christian Koloko and Thaddeus Young. Being more of a deeper bench guy for us at times this season. Didn't look too great in a couple moments out there on the court. But having him as a veteran that you can plug in, especially with a guy like Pascal Siakam out, things get a little bit messy for your team at times. The Raptors were down by the Bulls. There's a stretch in the fourth quarter where it looked like the Bulls were going to run away with this down the stretch. And we throw in Thaddeus Young. Thaddeus Young stays in the game, most of this fourth quarter. He played really, really well. Just hustling out there on defense. Again, the box score is not going to show a lot of greatness from Thaddeus Young. 2 of 5 from the field, 0 of 1 for the 3-point line. But 4 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. The 8 rebounds are key. And Bulls fans know it because they had Thaddeus Young on the squad. He's one of the best hustlers in the NBA. His IQ as a player is just at another level in terms of, just doing the right things, making winning plays for your team. And I get that some games he might not play. We might not need to use him every night in, night out, because he's a dude that's a veteran. We have a lot of guys on this roster, especially with Kevin Birch back. There's a lot of guys that can play that forward position. But in games like this, where, you might not be able to rely on Delano Banton. I made a video saying that he's the guy that has to step up, but I guess Fred VanVleet returns, so that made that a little bit nullified. Flynn didn't play, right? We need someone that's been on the deep bench riding the pine for this squad to, get some opportunities. And Thaddeus Young stepped up, showed why the Raptors gave him an $8 million contract this offseason, because he can be a plug-and-play dude with whatever scheme, whatever group of guys you have out there, and be a positive, right? Plus 25, as PK brought up. Huge guy to have off your bench, right? Championship caliber teams have guys like Thaddeus Young back off the bench to get this stuff rocking. The Raptors have those aspirations. So shout out to the chatty Thaddeus Young, because Mans was out here balling in this one. But we discussed the players in this game. Let's swing into the segments, because we got a lot of stuff to talk about with these segments. And tonight, no spicy P in this game, but we do have a few spicy P lays of the day. And the first couple have to go to, his Cameroonian front court mate, Christian Koloko, getting some wild looking blocks. One on Patrick Williams he had in the lane there was just ferocious. Patrick Williams actually had a pretty solid game for the Bulls in this one. He looks a lot better than he did last season. He was back healthy and stuff. Driving lane trying to dunk. Christian Koloko, no. Says, get that weak stuff out of here. He's swatting that thing home. He had a couple just ridiculous blocks in this game. That was absolutely huge. But, shades of a few games DeMar DeRozan has faced against us, in the clutch. We put the pressure on them. The Raptors just have so many long, wiry, athletic two-way guys on their squad. DeMar DeRozan's trying to run some ISO balls late in game, and OG Anunoby getting 2 steals in the clutch against former Raptors All-Star DeMar DeRozan, coming back down, throwing down some dunks, and those were timely momentum-shifting plays. Right, the fourth quarter, when the game's close, you have 2 good teams going at it. Every single play counts. And when one is just so demoralizing as your best player getting the ball stripped on him and a basket going the other way, that's just that hits hard. That hits heavy for your team right there. And OG Anunoby, man, I can't speak highly enough. What, three steals in this game? Felt like he had 10 by how timely those steals were, and just continuously playing aggressive defense, being able to clamp up other guys on the team. And it's not like DeMar DeRozan and these guys were scrubs out here. They didn't have Zach LaVine in this game, but DeMar had 20 points, 7 of 9 shooting, wasn't as aggressive, but the defense the Raptors are playing, it's you're not going to get that many nice looks, nice shots out there. But Patrick Williams had 13 points. Vucevic always just kills us, but the Raptors were just balling out. So lots of positive plays there, but one guy I want to bring it in for the not all place to be the spicy play of the day, and some just make you say, oh, geez. And tonight, the OG's play of the day, it's going to Fred VanVleet, because he had 1 negative OGs in the fourth quarter where there was a 3 on the wing and it bounced out, and it would have been the Raptors did end up having some daggers down there in the stretch, but he had 1 shot that would have sealed the deal for this Raptors squad, and just missed it out. I thought for sure it was going in by how well Fred was playing, but missed that one. But he did have a clutch, weird sort of floater bank shot where he got fouled. It was an and one, and went high off that glass, banked in. Made me say, oh geez, looking at that shot go down. Fred VanVleet, man, just hitting those timely plays. I compared him to Kyle Lowry early in this podcast, just the timeliness of what Fred VanVleet can do, especially in the half-court offense for your team. It's game-changing. It's game-changing what Fred VanVleet can do. Even when he's not super efficient, even sometimes he does slow down the basketball. He helps our half-court offense so much. It's people that had the idea of trading Fred VanVleet, just for, if you get him for Kevin Durant, maybe you debate it. If you're trading for a super-duper star, then fair enough, discuss that all you want. But, just saying we need to give up Fred VanVleet because he doesn't fit our system, that's just foolishness. That's just silliness. Fred VanVleet's shown what he did tonight, how valuable he can be for this Raptors squad. So that's just a huge play. That made me say, OGs, a positive OGs. And we did have the missed open 3, which, it wasn't negative OGs, I guess. But, I'm not bagging on a guy that had 30 points in a return game. Country calling is begging Fred VanVleet to forgive him. And Y2J forgive him? I don't know. What's happening there? You love seeing Fred VanVleet rock out like that. But we do have a segment, and this segment was almost named after him. And tonight's going to I'll name it after him just for tonight. The Goran Dragic Golden Kazoo, infamous Golden Kazoo Award of the night. And it's going to none other than Goran Dragic of the Chicago Bulls, who, yes, had a solid game. Came off the bench and was pretty effective for the Chicago Bulls. But thought this man's had higher aspirations. He was 16 points, 2 assists, 2 steals, or 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Came in motivated with the squad, right? Came in motivated against the Raptors team. Obviously, he's still spiteful at this Raptors team from last season. Was happy, was laughing at us when we got knocked out. And came in 16 points. No W, though. No W. I thought you wanted to win a championship, Goran Dragic. I thought you wanted to go out there and get a chip, not be rocking out with some young team. The Raptors went further than you guys in the playoffs, got more wins in the playoffs, at least than his Brooklyn Nets team, and we're going farther than the Chicago Bulls this year. So, Dragic, enough with that BS. Out here being foolish, acting like a clown out there on Twitter, putting out emojis and stuff when the Raptors get knocked out in the playoffs, because, while you may have scored tonight, you're getting cooked on the other end. You're not playing defense well enough to even get minutes on this Raptors squad. You don't, no ring is ever going on Goran Dragic's finger. I loved all the boos just raining out on Goran Dragic every single time he touched the basketball. I love to see it. And PK saying, why we still boo him anyways? Because he's a clown. Goran Dragic deserves to be booed. I know, I was cool with Goran Dragic. I said he was professional. He left, but the dude had some bad looks just working out for the Miami Heat practice facility, going courtside games while he was still being paid $19 million by the Toronto Raptors last year. I just thought that was just a horrible look. Like, collect your check and don't show up to other teams' games if you're away from the team due to personal reasons. Like, at least put on that narrative out there, right? But he decided to go out there, I'm going to chill in Miami. I don't like the Raptors, all that sort of stuff. But I let that slide and let any spite be held towards Goran Dragic until the playoffs came around. Raptors got knocked out after making a pretty stellar comeback. Were injury riddled in that first round, and he was laughing. He was making crying emojis at Raptors fans and stuff for being mad at us losing that series. And he's just a lame guy, just a lame dude. Goran Dragic deserves all of the boos from Toronto Raptors fans. Throw some L's in there for Goran Dragic, folks. Throw some L's. Get a little, not a like spike. Well, get some likes going. We got 51 likes in this videos, but get a little L spike in there from Mr. Goran Dragic. And definitely, if you're one of the 361 people in this chat right now or watching later and you're not subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe. It helps us out big time. But how are you guys feeling about this game? Because Predator Kingdom saying Gary Trent Jr. will be a bigger factor tomorrow night in Chicago, and that's usually how it goes with Gary Trent Jr. I know he had a bad game last night, or last game against the Dallas Mavericks. He was tough tonight against the Chicago Bulls. Wasn't horrible by any means, but let's get this box score up. 12 points, minus 25 for the game, 1 of 5 from the 3-point line, all that sort of stuff. But Gary's hot and cold. That's just how it goes. And that's why we need Fred VanVleet, because while Fred can be hot and cold himself, guards that are volume shooters, that's just how it goes with them. That's how they play their games. And they're never going to be perfect unless they're, all-star caliber guys like Kevin Durant or something like that. So don't expect Gary to be absolutely remarkable every night. But as Predator Kingdom is saying, while you might get a bad Gary Trent Jr. game tonight, you're going to get a Gary Trent Jr. motivated and ready to cook the Chicago Bulls. They're on the second night of a back-to-back. So hopefully, I'd imagine Zach LaVine will be back for the next one. I know they had Ayo DeSumo, Caruso, some solid defenders. Caruso got clamped on the other end, missing his 0 for 6 from 3 and all that sort of stuff. But expect Gary Trent Jr. to really turn up the heat on the Chicago Bulls tomorrow night's game, because Gary's that guy. He's that level scorer. He's that effective out there to get buckets and stuff. So definitely love seeing Gary Trent work like that out there on the court for this Raptors squad. And Jay Jenkins is saying they keep starting Koloko, amazing. And this is the thing, because the Toronto Raptors, I get the logic. Like, I understand. I don't want to actually come out here and be flaming Raptors fans for the people that say trade Fred VanVleet. I get every fan base is a bit reactionary to recent games. But the Raptors do look really solid, especially defensively, with a true center out there. Their schemes just fit more effectively. Even if our best 5 guys is still Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Scottie Barnes, and Pascal Siakam. No true center. Right? That's going to be the starters, night in, night out. It's probably the lineups we close with. But throughout the course of a game, just having a true 5 out there, whether it be Precious, whether it be Koloko, even Boucher to a certain extent, right? The defense just looks absolutely stifling on teams, because we can push up, and then same way Rudy Gobert had that effect in Utah when Utah didn't have near the on-ball defenders the Raptors had, but they had all the confidence in the world to defend guys around the 3-point line and just go crazy into people's space. If they happen to blow by you, Koloko can get those swats, right? Koloko just brings that level of defense. So when we do have the injuries, it's probably it's not a bad thing that Christian Koloko gets a start. I think he should be the de facto start, even if he's not better than Chris Boucher or Precious Achiuwa at this point. He's just a guy that fits more naturally out there on the court with the starting unit players. He kind of gets his buckets off of guys. Fred VanVleet and Christian Koloko have a dynamic going where Fred's throwing the lobs up to Koloko, slamming those shots down. Right, you love seeing all that dynamic. He perfectly plays off of star players. Koloko's going to be, as Matthew is saying in the chat, Matthew DeSantis, we're going loco for Koloko out here on the Raptors Digest. We love seeing it. Gordon's saying it'd be something the Raptors can win tomorrow night too, and that's facts, because the Raptors, man, we've had the toughest schedule in the NBA. It continues to be brutal as we play more top-tier teams, more playoff contending teams in the Chicago Bulls right now. And when we face not the upper echelon, or at least the upper echelon teams on full display. Like when we played the Nets, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons probably had their best games of the season. Nick Claxton looked like prime Dwight Howard. It's tough going up against that squad at that point. When we played the Mavericks, Luka's just cooking. Everyone's knocking down shots, and we still only lose by 1, right? When we're not playing those top teams, Even in those games, we're extremely close. We're beating teams by like 30 and 40 points. So, the Raptors with a brutal schedule to start. If we can continue to beat these top tier teams and score in sand, right, that's going to be huge. But Levine going to be in the game tomorrow. I assume so. I assume he's going to be in that game tomorrow. Demon. So where is Riker gone at this point? I don't know where Riker is, folks. Been bringing it up on podcasts. No idea where he's to. But Gary Trent Jr. will match up better with Levine tomorrow. That's facts. Caruso is a pest out there on defense. While he was 1 for 11 from the field, he brings on the defensive end. And him and DeSumo in the backcourt, they're a solid back group of guys, to play some defense out there. Fred was cooking when especially DeMar was switched on to him, but it's we'll be fine. We'll be better off next game. We'll have to lock in on defense though with Levine coming back. But Koloko is the lid blocker. He's blocking everything. Oliver's saying Chicago looked tired at the end there, and that's true. But it's tough when you're facing up against OG Anunoby, trying to score around him every possession. Scottie Barnes just being a menace out there on defense. Gary Trent Jr. Well, he didn't have any steals in this one, I don't believe. No steals for Gary in this game. 1 steal, my apologies. No steals for Fred VanVleet. Those are always pests. They're always ready to steal that basketball and stuff. But OG Defensive Player of the Year. Throw it in the chat. Throw it in the chat. Do you think the OG Anunoby will be Defensive Player of the Year? Throw a yes or a no in the chat. Just yes or no. I want to see what people are saying. I do have to cook up what's it called? Christian Koloko animation. Get the statue for Riker going up. If Riker officially retires, I'll get a statue for Riker without a doubt. I don't know what's his plans are for the future, but we'll see what ends up happening. I did cook up a Bo Cruz animation. I forgot to I didn't forget. Nick Nurse forgot to play the guy. He's not doing out there. Not even getting in the game with Pascal Siakam out. That's a tough look for Mr. Bo Cruz. I'm sure he'll have his opportunity to shine at some point. But Koloko, no. I hope that's I'm not seeing many yeses or nos. I don't know how far the chat is behind me, but looks like there's a few yeses. The only nos are representing Koloko, so I think that's what's happening. MW Dog is saying Dragic had a good game, and yes, he did have a good game. Dragic was out there playing pretty well, but he wouldn't be able to play on the level of defense the Raptors would need him to. So Ants is just getting cut, getting waived, and he can laugh at us and get knocked out in the playoffs when he's knocked out earlier in the playoffs. I'm gonna keep roasting Goran Dragic any chance I get. Don't trigger me. Don't push me to roast Dragic even more than I have to, folks. But Oliver's saying no Banton tonight. I'm surprised because I'm surprised that there's no Banton because Fred VanVleet, Scottie Barnes, those are 2 guys, man in the point guard position. Fred VanVleet in his return, 39 minutes still. That's still a discussion that has to be talked about, right? Like, do we want Fred VanVleet just coming off a back injury playing 39 minutes? I know he was great tonight. I know he's essential for this team, but, we don't want more and more injuries occurring. So I thought Banton would get some run Scottie Barnes the backup point. Like, Scottie had 40 minutes himself tonight. It's tough because those are only 2 real reliable ball handlers. I know that it's, Delano Banton, we kind of go through lulls, rough patches when he's out there. Malachi Flynn hasn't even got enough opportunity to see what he can do. Jeff Doughton's in the back of the Nick Nursery right now, so probably won't. I don't know what the plan is for those guys on that front, but I'd like to see them get some opportunities because we don't need Fred VanVleet to get injured again. But we have a super chat coming in from Arco saying, hit that like spike. VanVleet is back, baby. He is back. He's ready to go. He's cooking. Appreciate the super chat as always, Arco. But, man, people are looking like fools. I was calling him out even when it happened, when people were saying all this about Fred VanVleet and whatnot. But, man, people that were trying to trade Fred VanVleet, y'all are wilding out there. Y'all are crazy. I get why everyone wants the long boy lineup, but you need versatility on your team. And a guy that can guard smaller players, stay in front, be mobile, get steals, knock down threes, be your leader, be a junkyard dog out there. That's what we want to see. So stop trying to get this guy traded. But Jeff Doughton was cooking last night with the 905. Edward, more reason why this guy should be getting an opportunity with the Raptors. I'm a big Doughton guy. No one should be doubting because this man is going to be elite for the Raptors. Mark my words, when he gets his opportunity, he will be good. But Chill P injured his ankle. Chili P, it's tough. Brandon saying, spike the like. Spike the like. And I got to get this going. We're more so pushing for subs these days. Trying to get those sub numbers up. Getting those juice. So definitely hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't subbed already. But Oliver saying Scottie was limping. OG almost got injured on that defensive play where he fell. Forgot about that. That was I hate injuries, man. I hate injuries. And OG Anunoby. Let's knock on wood for this man. Let's do all the rituals, because if he can stay healthy this year the way he's playing, this might be a wild take, a wild question, a wild thought. But folks, the way OG Anunoby's playing, especially on the defensive end, especially where the Raptors will likely have an all-star this season, but Pascal could be out for an extended period. Fred has missed some time. His numbers have been a little bit dialed back with the exception of tonight. Could OG Anunoby be an all-star for this Raptors team this season? Yes, no. Yes, no. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. And I want to see what people are saying. Scooby-Doo is saying, I'm back. What's up, Scooby-Doo? Good to see you. But Ken is saying, where's your partner? Guys, I don't know if you've been watching the vids. I don't know where Riker is, folks. I don't know where he's to. Keep spamming it. Keep spamming it. Let people know. Keep calling people casuals if they don't know where Riker's to. Or I guess I'm a casual too, because I don't know where he's at either. But Logical Raptors saying they will not be spaces for crazy dumb casual takes. That's no wild takes out here. If Fred don't play much, we don't win. That's true. K2's Garnett, but we got to figure out something. We gotta do something for this squad. But Matthew's saying all-star. I love it. Scottie limps all the time. He just tries not to show it. Yeah, it's worried. It's worrisome. We'll see what happens. Jay saying, what's the timelines on Siakam? He's getting reevaluated in 2 weeks. Just made a video on it earlier today. Definitely check that out for the full sort of details. But Pascal Siakam will be reevaluated in 2 weeks, and then we'll see. We'll go from there. Not sure how it's going to happen. Freddie All-Star could be the All-Star for us there. But OG gets tackled by 2 bodies. Turnover to DeRozan. Barely gets touched. There were some tough calls for DeMar in this one. That was brutal. Edward saying we get 3 All-Stars. Love seeing that. Love seeing that. And he's on pace. OG Anunoby, I'd love to see this man become an all-star. I would love it. I've been pushing OG propaganda since 2019, since I've been out here on YouTube, back with the old GIF loops, ranting in front of the TJ academic style stuff. So that's what we love to see. But Harrison, Realsy saying like spike, like spike, keep that spam going, keep the like spike animations cooking. But Harrison saying no, but I think that he has to get his numbers up to be one. Yeah, probably, I don't know. What are OG stats for the season right now at this point? Defensively, the stats are there for sure. But if the Raptors can get a top 3 seed and then, manage the loads of Pascal and Fred VanVleet are managed, OG's probably that guy. It's probably that guy. We'll see. And we'll need to be a top 3 team to have 2 All-Stars games. That's true. Fred VanVleet and OG? Who knows? Koloko. We got some Marcel's coming in with the super chat. Same, where's Riker? I don't know, Chief. You don't know either. No one knows. Someone let me know. Stop asking me. I don't know where he is. But OG deserves an all-star appearance. Dude's been a defensive demon for 5-6 years. That's true. And Nick Nurse using his coach's challenge on the 3rd possession of the game. It's classic Nick Nurse. Classic Nick Nurse move. Love seeing that. But Barnes dunk with the feed from Freddie. Spicy. Spicy P. ASF. True. Love watching the games go back and forth. Folks, it is my keyboard. People, this secret's out. That's how I get the camera cuts. But, guys, Fred I had a rant to go on. I forget what I was going to say because I saw my keyboard pop up. I don't even know what I was going at. I'm going to keep that pops back in my brain. I'm having brain lapses out here on the podcast. It's going wild out here. But the Raptors will drop tomorrow, but we will have a blast this week. Yeah, what's this Raptor schedule looking like? What's out here rocking? But on the data Dyson sphere, no LMFAO, Lamfowing. We got people Lamfowing in the chat. Riker's making Marcel's making conspiracy theories out here in the chat. But Get the people are bringing up the Riker. Gonna do up a Riker animation, not till he retires. But OG is a different athlete this year. He looked like Koloko when he put with that putback. But Knicks Digest. Knicks Digest might actually be something on route. Might be launching another channel potentially tomorrow, which keep your eyes peeled, especially baseball fans. Definitely check out Jays Digest. Habs Digest been going nuclear. Leafs Digest will be popping back now this week, hopefully. So that's what we love to see. But OG totally be an all-star. I think it's possible, boys. I think it's possible for OG to really pop out and getting his game rocking. Like, imagine OG is an all-star. It's obviously Scottie Barnes, future all-star. Who do you think has more all-star potential this season alone? Scottie Barnes or OG Anunoby? Let me know in the chat down there as well. But we do need the Christian Koloko animation. Became a Sixers fan. That's tough. But Riker, Gary Trent, #1 animation. Yeah, Riker's going on. Gary Trent's going to be the GOAT of the Toronto Raptors. That was his take on Landon. My boy is faded on the stream. I'm losing my brain out here. But he just needs to be healthy. Nameless. What's Nameless saying? I don't know what people are going on with. Jared's saying OG in terms of having more potential of being an all-star this season. OG, I'm starting to start supporting Knicks Digest. That might be en route. Definitely support all the Digest channels. You can keep them in our channel page. Just hit subscribe, even if you're not fans of the teams. Just helps us out big time. Helps grow the business, grow the Digest media popping off. But Scottie's another season for two away from All-Star. That's probably true. It's probably true. Precious Achua. How we feeling about Precious tonight, folks? How we feeling about the propaganda? Didn't ring much propaganda in this game. Minus 20 for the game, 5 points, 3 fouls, couple assists, 2 6 from the field, missing his 3-point shots. Precious is just kind of all over the place as a player. It's pretty wild. And Siakam, OG, and Scottie all-stars. Not even our all-star from last season. Fred VanVleet. Freddie all-star. Getting that stuff going. Jason, I support you guys. Appreciate you, Jay. Appreciate everyone that's hitting subscribe, cheering on the squad. But hockey, yuck. Yeah, that's if you don't like, you just subscribe to the channel. The boys appreciate it. We appreciate it. Helps us out big time. But bonjour. Salut, monsieur. Stith Elman 65. Trying to je veux improve. Mon français c'est très mal maintenant. But also mentioned Brand say I mentioned a Fred VanVleet trade because of the fit with the team. Still an option, but I do love Fred. No hate. Freddie's a baller. And that, I get why people are saying the fit and stuff, but man, he fits what we need. Even though he's not the same style as our other Raptors players, like Fred VanVleet is that guy for this Raptors squad. And the work report saying Precious has low IQ, but fans need to be patient with him. Precious development, right? We love the chaos. From old Precious, bouncing back and forth game in, game out, but this has been a wild game, folks. A wild game. Just a massive W. Folks, I think my brain's a little bit Sunday night, been working all day, coaching some basketball, all that sort of stuff. Might the time zones flipping back, might get to sleep well, sleep early, but folks, shout out to DeMar DeRozan too. It's fun always watching him play. I feel like I didn't discuss him as much as I probably should have in this podcast. Rocking the thank you Com10 shirt. As always, but definitely subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. It means the world to us. Subscribe to all the Digest channels. It helps us out big time. And yeah, stay tuned for the latest, greatest Toronto Raptors content. You guys are the best for making this far. All that cool stuff. I'm butchering my outro, but you guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.